literally just finished filming a video and I'm rolling right into this one. I'm not even gonna change my shirt and pretend like they were filmed at different times or anything like that. So this week, I'm actually starting to lose track. I think it's week 7 and I'm not gonna know for sure until I go to edit this and see that. I'm pretty sure I have 6 previous videos. I feel like nothing has really changed this week. We still don't know when our last day of online classes is going to be. There haven't been any updates from school or anything like that. So this week actually was slower than previous weeks, and that's because planning for next week means I'm only planning for Wednesday because Monday is Memorial Day, and on the schedule that we have, math and ELA and a couple other subjects, they post Mondays and Wednesdays. Since we don't have classes on Monday, I'm only posting on Wednesday, and I'm not complaining one bit. So I was actually able to get everything done and completed for next Wednesday by Tuesday. And a big weight has been lifted off of my shoulders that I expressed in my last video, that I'm no longer creating brand new content for my students, which means I'm not filming and editing all these videos for them to learn from or anything like that. And that actually saved me a lot of time. So this week I was actually able to plan what I'm doing in my geometry classes for next week. So I still have to go into Google Classroom and schedule everything, but I know what we're doing the following Monday and Wednesday. And calculus, that's the one that always takes me the longest. We are now reviewing for our final. So their first day of review is going to be that next Wednesday. And they're getting a review sheet with problems on it. They're getting my answers to the review sheet with all the work shown, and I'm giving them like a cheat sheet kind of what they need to know for that section of the final, because I broke the final down into 3 sections. So we're reviewing one section at a time from old final exams that I was given access to from the college. So for calculus, I was able to get ahead as far as typing up the review sheets for the 2 days that I have to post work for the following week. So I feel good about where I got. I just have to go through and do answer keys for both of those and make up a cheat sheet. So for this week, what they actually did in calculus was they did their last 2 lessons, which was on the area between 2 curves and using the disc method. So for those, I'm following like this very basic format of send them a video, and it's not a video that I create, but one that I find on YouTube from the organic chemistry tutor. So for calculus, I've been having students do work from the textbook. I select roughly 6 problems or less each time, and then they fill in their answers in a Google form, which is a little bit of a nightmare. I don't get to see their work unless, depending on the topic, like when we first did integration, their assignment was to take a picture of their work and send it to me, which is a pain to grade, but totally worth it so I can see their work. But for these ones, it was like they were getting a single answer, so it was easier just to do a form, and if they have problems, we can go over it later. General geometry, they were finishing up their circles unit with the area of a sector and arc length, so I made a video for them on that, and then they had a Google form to complete. Essentially, I made task cards and then screenshot the task card and uploaded that into Google Forms. So that was very simple as well. They're getting simple answers that they can type in, except that it's all in terms of pi, their answers. So I put in the directions, just type in the number, do not include pi. And then what it'll do is go back through their responses and validate if they did put pi by accident or something silly happened where they had the right answer, but they typed it in funny. I have to go through and like add all those as correct answers. So that was it. It was very simple. My other geometry class will be doing that next week. So this week, because they're like my advanced class, they get pretty much everything that we would have normally done in the circles unit. And this week they did the angles inside, on, and outside of circles. And then they did circle segment lengths. So for both of these lessons, I sent them a video of me going through examples, and then I sent them a maze. I love doing mazes in the classroom because they're so easy to check. So a maze would look like this, and to check it, you're just looking to make sure that they followed the right path. So trying to figure out how to do it digitally, I thankfully saw an example of a maze that someone had done on Instagram, and they get the diagram here, it's all in Google Slides, and then off on the side they have shapes. So they're gonna just take the shape and drag it over to wherever their answer is. So at the end, I'm just looking at where these shapes are. So I did that for both lessons, and it's the last time that I get to tell them that the work that we have to do is amazing. So it's a little bit bittersweet. And filming by the window has never been a problem until today. I don't know why I didn't shut the window before filming. So this week, planning wise, wasn't bad. I definitely feel like I spent more time grading this week than I did planning. And a big chunk of that is because for planning, like how I said I got ahead in my geometry classes, it's because I purchased activities from Teachers Pay Teachers during sales, so that now I don't have to worry about actually like putting something together myself. It's done, I just have to assign it and put supports in place for my students. So grading took a while, especially because I went back through stuff that I'd missed that students had turned in late. It's been hard shifting my mindset around late work because I tell my students our new motto right now is that we do what we can when we can, and you know, do not apologize to me that you turned something in late, because these circumstances are so different. But trying to like remind myself of that is sometimes hard because I'll have students turning stuff in from April and I'm just kind of like, oh, like, why did you wait so long? But I don't know why they waited so long. They might have had, and probably had, really good, legitimate reasons why it wasn't done when it was first assigned. And I have to like remind myself that. Or at least that's what I'm telling myself, because I'm just assuming the best in everyone right now because I don't know, and I have no way of knowing. The only other thing that's really like on my mind or weighing on me this week is what next year is going to look like. And I'm not even talking about whether or not we're going back to school in September. I've heard a lot of interesting things, and I don't even want to talk about what the CDC released this week. But next year, or what's happening this year, is my department chair's retiring. And I know I've talked about this so much on this channel because that was kind of like the catalyst for why I've gone through so many changes lately in terms of the curriculum that I teach. That's why I have calculus this year, why I had algebra 2 last year. So I know I've talked about it, but the reality is just hitting me really hard that she's retiring, and I just feel like a huge sense of loss. And my department chair is just the most incredible person, the most incredible teacher, and she is absolutely irreplaceable. So much so that our district will not be rehiring for her position next year. There's also like just budget constraints because the state is cutting aid to schools this year because of everything that's going on. So it's all completely understandable. We also gained a new math position this past year anyway, so it kind of balances out overall. But we gained a math position because we needed more people, and losing our department chair is actually going to change a lot of things within our department, and we're not even completely sure how everything is changing yet, and that's weighing on me because I don't know what's going to happen next year as far as what am I going to teach. And typically we have our teaching assignments for the following year. Actually, we would get them by today, the day before Memorial break. So I don't know. I didn't get anything today, and I don't expect to. Hopefully by next Friday we will know, but that might not even happen because everything is just so different and so crazy this year, and it would be completely understandable if we didn't know so soon ahead. And we're always warned things can change over the summer and everything, but essentially we're losing a whole teacher, and she taught our college stats class this year and 4 sections of algebra 2, and the 4 sections of algebra 2 are still going to need to get covered. So it's just going to be interesting to see what happens next year, and a lot of it depends on numbers of students enrolled in classes, which that's never totally set either. I feel like I'm rambling at this point, and I think you guys know how it works in schools. Things change, and I don't know what this change is going to look like for me for next year, so I'm a little bit nervous. And I know the obvious solution is to not worry about it, but I'm not built that way. I can't not worry about it. It's on my mind a lot, and I try to push it away and just focus on what's going on now, but it's still there. I really thought this was going to be a much shorter video because there's like nothing really changed going into this, but it took a while to explain some things. So that's everything from this week. As always, thanks for watching.